Go out and vote. Vote like your life depends on it. Vote like your future depends on it, because it does. This is the last chance, man. Mark my words. If Trump doesn't win, this will be the last real election in America. This election is the last chance to preserve democracy in America.
Recently, Joe Rogan hosted Elon Musk for a third appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience, which took the internet by storm. The hugely trending video on all social media sites continues a latest trend on the JRE to discuss the election and the future of United States, where Trump goes up against Kamala Harris. The JRE episode featuring the founder of SpaceX gained over 4 million views under 6 hours currently on YouTube and shows no signs of stopping anytime soon. Rogan's podcast is primarily known for guests opening up for a candid conversation, and Elon Musk didn't disappoint.
If you're going to roast Hillary, you can't bring up the death count.
Like, Hillary, what's the best way to stay in touch? Email?
Musk's comments reveal his deep-seated concerns about the direction of American politics. Musk calls attention to what he believes is a coordinated effort to establish a permanent political monopoly. Before we break down some of his key points in this episode, make sure to subscribe to the channel and not miss an update. Do share your thoughts on the comments below.
I've not been politically active until this election. And the reason I've been politically active this election is because I think if we don't elect Trump, I think we will lose we will lose democracy in this country. We will lose the two-party system.
The Iron Man of Silicon Valley stated that his biggest concerns centers on immigration, a topic he sees less as a debate about policy and more as a targeted tactic to manipulate electoral results. The Rocket Man points out that the current administration's policies have led to significant increases in immigration in critical swing states, including the areas of Texas and Arizona. He is not opposed to immigration on principle. His own companies like SpaceX and Tesla employ a diverse workforce from around the world, but he's wary of the pattern he sees.
So there's only like six or seven swing states. The margin of victory in those states is small, often like 10 or 20,000 votes. What the Democrat administration has been doing is importing vast numbers of illegals into swing states. You can look at the numbers on the actual government website, meaning you don't take my word for it. You'll just look at the numbers as reported by the government, which is controlled by the Democrats. And what we're seeing is triple-digit increases in the number of illegals in every swing state. In some cases, 700% increases.
According to the Maverick, by increasing immigration in states crucial to national elections, the administration is creating conditions that will lead these areas to lean heavily Democratic. Over time, he argues these states could be transformed into permanent blue regions, where Democratic victories are virtually guaranteed. The result? An unshakable Democratic hold on the Electoral College and, by extension, the White House. To the disruptor, this strategy represents a serious threat to the two-party system that he believes is essential to America's identity. If swing states lose their competitiveness, then the democratic process as he sees it would be fundamentally undermined. The controversial case of voter ID laws. Elon the engineer's concerns don't stop with immigration. He's also openly critical of California's approach to voter ID laws, a state where checking IDs at polling stations is generally prohibited. To the space baron, the lack of voter ID verification is baffling and dangerous.
And that's what's happening. If you want to see, like, well, is this actually going to happen? Look at California. California is supermajority Dem, 70% Dem. A month ago, they passed a law making it illegal to show ID in any election in California. So a friend of mine went to vote in Palo Alto because he was like, "Is this for real?" He tried to show his ID, and they reacted like if you show a cross to a vampire. Okay, they're like, "No, we can't even look at that ID." It is illegal for them to even look at your ID if you want to present it in California.
Yet, California's policies make it almost impossible to verify that voters are who they claim to be. The Tesla titan sees this as a calculated move to make it easier for ineligible individuals to cast votes. He believes that the state's leaders are playing fast and loose with voter identity, hoping that this will give them an edge in tightly contested races. By allowing people to vote without any proof of citizenship or residency, the Maverick says California's policies have cracked open a door to potential fraud. To him, voter ID requirements is a red flag, a sign of leaders prioritizing political advantage over electoral integrity. The looming threat of one party control. Immigration shifts in swing states and lax voter ID laws might seem unrelated, but the Rocket Man sees them as two halves of a coordinated strategy aimed at creating a one party system in the United States. And that, he argues, is a recipe for political disaster. The stakes, he says, are too high for Americans to ignore. The Tesla titan believes that the Democratic Party, by reshaping the demographics of key swing states and pushing back against voter ID requirements, is laying the groundwork for an unbreakable political stronghold. To the space baron, the end goal is simple: a long term Democratic majority with minimal competition. He paints a picture of a future where elections feel like formalities rather than real contests, with outcomes virtually predetermined by demographic and regulatory manipulation. It's a grim vision, one the Iron Man sees as a realistic threat rather than a paranoid fantasy. A lack of true competition, he believes, would strip America of the political balance that's helped it thrive. Elon the Disruptor's call for action and awareness. In the face of these concerns, the visionary has a message that's both stark and urgent. Vote like your life depends on it. He's become more vocal in the lead up to elections, urging citizens to pay attention to policies and push back against what he calls coordinated political manipulation. For the tech mogul, this election is a turning point, a chance to act before America's democratic balance is potentially lost. He argues that the narrative often associated with Trump's threat to democracy could just as easily apply to current tactics by the left. With genuine alarm, the SpaceX visionary frames this election as the last significant opportunity for Americans to decide whether they want a future with two viable parties or a one sided system where competition is a relic of the past. A warning from Silicon Valley. Elon the engineer's critics might question his theories, but his warning isn't likely to go unheard. From the world of tech to the world of space, the Maverick's voice is one of the loudest and most recognizable in modern media. And while some see his latest claims as outlandish, others hear echoes of concern that reflect broader anxieties about the future of American democracy. For the Iron Man of Silicon Valley, this isn't just a matter of policy, it's about preserving the foundations of American society. His journey from space to the political landscape may seem surprising, but it's driven by a fundamental belief that all systems, including political ones, should be open, competitive, and fair. In a country where a majority of citizens grew up believing in the importance of choice and balance, the visionary's message cuts deep. The very structure of American democracy, he warns, could soon be at stake. In the coming months, Americans may find themselves facing a choice. The disruptor considers both simple and profound: preserve the integrity of a balanced democracy or risk letting a single party future solidify for good. Whatever they decide, his message remains clear, and it lingers in the air. Democracy, like innovation, needs freedom to thrive.